So, what's your flavor? Hot picks or your sports or?
Oh, well, here we go.
Uh oh, there it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. New sports.
Okay, you guys, I'm gonna get to race into this, and unfortunately, if we had all the ladies here for new sports, we probably would run long on one topic. So, I'm not going to sit back and spend a lot of time on this, but I thought the first subject that came into mind was when you start recruiting athletes, are you sure that recruiting a athlete that's 7 years old from a professional team, is that going across the line? And there's an Argentine prospect being courted and has been signed by Real Madrid, the national soccer team. His name is Lionel Coira, and he's been signed, and he is 7 years old. Now, is there a point where it goes too far? And I'm up double this question up. Do you think that we will see someone get signed at the age of 5? Is it crossing the line, Mario?
I think you'll get someone signed. You'll get someone who's signed prior to their birth. Just imagine two sports stars that get married. Somebody will make a deal,
right,
that they have the first rights to their child,
right,
for something or else.
So you going
for a bonus?
Yes,
I know how money making people think, and they're trying to figure out a way to charge you for air.
Right.
They really are.
Yeah.
They already have all the other commodities, water, heat, so they really want to charge you for everything.
So and look, and isn't it true that we already see the fabric of the gene pool, whereas the parents running or they're of certain ilk or, athletic ability, the son or the daughter, the potential that they will carry it on is strong, I would assume.
Yeah, and that's why there's some concern with me. Typically, the law seeks to protect young folks from certain kinds of contracts.
Right.
And I would hope, and I don't know what happens in these other countries, but that's one of my issues. Typically, these things end up being, to some degree, an exploitation.
Yeah. And okay, we're going to that point anyway. So let me just, I know everybody has to play the role here, but at what point do we look at the pros and cons of this? Are there some strong pros that outweigh the cons? And I'll just give my own little one or two, and you could chime in, Mario, because especially in a scenario like this, the weight of it is that your child is being approached aggressively, not because they're a brilliant child, not because they're just this unique child. They're really saying we see an investment here that's going to pay off dividends. And just the idea that the world will know that you're being courted as the next coming. What's the pros on this, if any? Are there more cons? What do you think?
Well, I don't see any pros.
I knew you was going to say that. See, it's a simple answer. In other
because
words,
it's all about the advantages to the businesses.
Right.
That's what it's really about. It's about money.
Right.
And it's, the cons are all the risk of the exploitation.
True.
Of the individual. So I don't think there's any pros. That's typically why you weren't allowed to enter into contracts. In the United States, there's some whole bunch of things that have to go into it.
Right.
There's a bunch of things that go in to protect you, even to protect people from their parents overusing them. You
know what? This was the exiting scenario. You hit the nail on the head, Mario. The first thing I thought of is we always think of, the parents may or may not be behind the push of this that got, of course, Angel where he is, or Lionel. I call him. He's got one beautiful name. Mine is just common. I have to look at it and say, how did it come to the awareness that this child, when you actually can go identify a child of this age, how did it come to be? Now, usually we say it's in the hands of the agents, but we never really say the parents are thrusting their kids up into a position like this. Well, in America, in our what we call I call it our youth sports, you have some committed parents, especially in hockey and other places, that are just kind of like on the wrath of getting their children or child notice. So we don't know the story behind this, but I agree with you. I don't know if there's a pro on this yet. I can't see the advantage unless somebody says, here, even if they're poor and they're struggling, you go, should I use my kid to get out of the ghetto, so to speak?
It's one of the things we're debating even today is what's too much homework.
Right.
The children need to be allowed to be children, and that's even the issue with making them competitive athletes at too young an age.
Right.
Or whatever age we decide is too young.
Right.
That's the controversy.
Yeah.
You need to, we feel that they need to be allowed time to play,
Yes.
to have their own time, and not to have their whole life so regimented.
Right.
You know, and today's child doesn't necessarily live that type of life. So it's to be really to be discussed.
And we actually have an example out here. We have a lot of what we call child stars who start at an early age. So it doesn't matter if it's athleticism or acting. We seem like we have gotten used to it over here that, you know, if they're acting at such a young age, the demand on the child is so great that, you know, we've seen an example. I mean, it's an extraordinary example if you use Michael Jackson, for example. The idea absent the childhood and the development of being a child. I agree with you, Mario. That's the one I think about is will he be able to do the things as a child and not have this pressure on him?
No. See, that's the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm going to follow up because I'm going to race through this. Steve Williams, of course, just recently, had some criticism and of course, a lot of people already know this. The Twitter nation, as it relates to the athletes and pro athletes, had a backlash against him actually, you know, on his interview, kind of writing what he said is, you know, the best win he's ever experienced. The one time he wins with somebody trumps all the other times that, of course, Tiger Woods has spent with him in winning multiple championships. Now, already, he's already... See, this is what I said, you know, I think...
Boy, you can't even have your own opinion on your wins. That's what's amazing about the American press. You can't even have your own opinion. He didn't knock anybody.
Right.
He didn't say anything nasty about it. All he said was, this is the best win I've ever had.
Right.
And if they can make that controversial... Jeez.
And wait a minute.
This is what the sports reporters, because they're indicting you by what you didn't say.
Right. See?
That's all I have to. That's
right.
You know, I'm sorry.
No, you hit the look. The reason why I'm saying this is I said I think he's getting the example of what I can see Tiger Woods going like this. Every day they're on my ass. Every moment they're on my ass. Here you got a simple small taste of they're on my ass. And what did he do immediately? I think it was a little bit over the top. I said, okay,
yeah,
so
that's over the top. Jeez, I'm trying to think of statements.
Okay, now
after a win that you can say.
Right.
I enjoyed that, but do you enjoy more than Tiger? I enjoyed the win. But how much? More than Tiger?
See, you're wrong, man.
See, everything you say, you know, it's like the sports columnists are like crazy bad girlfriends.
Right.
Okay, that's what they really are like. They're
Yeah.
a bunch of they're like crazy old girlfriends.
Yes, they are.
And the way they jumped on this was like a psycho bitch that used to date.
Dude.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The
way they jumped on this, that's exactly what y'all behave like. The worst psycho dates
Right.
that anyone's ever had.
Dude, look, I'm
Criticize
sitting here.
this man for saying best win I ever had.
Wait a minute. Okay, let's do this because I think Mario has a part where, you know, I want you guys to understand. He's an internal man, okay? So he don't ride all the same bull, okay? So I just want you to know, I thought of the same scenario. You can jump on both sides of the fence. He's not a practitioner of knowing what to say in interviews. He's got caught off guard at a moment, and they're going to rip him a new asshole. I'm sorry, pardon my French. But they're doing that. So here it is. Was Steve Williams' statement best win I've ever had? Of what of these options you think it bestly represents or best represents? Regrettable by Steve? Heartfelt and honest emotion? Chumming up to his new winning partner, Adam Scott? Arrogant and opportunistic? Diva on steroids? Now, Mario, you came to his defense and said, can I just have my freedom of expression? Maybe I'm leaving that choice out. What do you believe he was doing?
Heartfelt and honest emotion.
I figured you were going to do that. That Mario's going like that. It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
See, I know.
No offense. Here they go telling you which wins you're supposed to enjoy more.
Right.
Well, are you sure you don't enjoy that master? No. He said this is the best. It's like you imagine it's the best sex I ever had.
That's cold.
Are you sure? Are you sure? You sure it wasn't Sarah back in the old days, your old girlfriend? No, it's you. You're the best. Are you sure?
She wanted to question his emotion.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Right, you can't look.
Hey, psycho girlfriends. That's what the sports reporters are acting like.
No, let me, Mar. You know this. Look, we are closely associated with what our opinions about, and we don't know what's in the mind of Steve. I don't know. I'm just saying that you got to be careful. Once you want to be in the room with the dragons and the barbarians, you have to be ready and be prepared for the dragons and the barbarians. And I'm not saying that they're all bad people. They just who they are. You got caught up in a moment, and I'm not going to. I have one small disagreement with Mark, just one. I say when you don't know why this is the best win, maybe we didn't get that information during the interview. And you know they're great with interviews. They cut off the part they don't want you to hear. I would love to hear how the interview was started and how it ended, and not this snapshot.
Well, they had a written piece that I looked at, and they tried to get some more out of him, but he didn't really.
He didn't
say. But like I said, remember. Psycho girlfriends.
Right, I got you.
From hell.
Right, no, I believe they're on a mission.
They want to know, so why is that the best?
Right.
Why is it the best?
Right. See?
You know, it's like, one time I told a girlfriend, that someone I was really involved with, I said, I love you.
Right.
She goes, what do you love?
Yeah,
see, that's a woman for you. They couldn't just say, I love you.
Right.
What do you love?
Right. See, that's wrong, man.
I love the way you ask me stupid-ass questions.
I do it.
When I say I love you.
Wait, but you know what? You have a good, it's an analogy. Joey Logano was doing the recent race, and I believe it was Pocono. And they went to about 75% or maybe 60 or 70% of the race. And when they call the race because of rain, whoever's leading at that time is basically declared the winner. But they'll wait to see if they can have a chance for it to complete itself. So he's coming into the booth and he's being part of, well, here's the break time. It takes a couple of hours before we can clear away all the wetness on the racetrack. So the question comes up, and Joey's only like 22. And the question comes up and they ask Joey, you're leading right now. Would you want the rain to stop? And he said, simply, what a stupid question. I'm in first place. If I'm in first place and it stops now, I win. But you think I wanted to clear up, go back out here, and then take a chance on losing first place? He ended up coming in 26th place because the rain stopped. They cleared it out. And I said, he went from first to far worse. And I said, stupid question. So you're right, Mario.
There's a bunch of stupid ones out there.
It's all right. All right, hey, look, I have to go to this one because the man is in the mix on this one. Tim Tebow. If we don't have any football conversation, we can't talk about Hainsworth because nobody's getting into the camp of the Patriots to find out why he hasn't shown up for the last couple of practices. But we know Bill Belichick got this and he's got it covered. In the meantime, Tebow basically has been already assigned officially to the number 2 position on the depth chart, quelling all the opportunity to say he's your starting quarterback for this year, which means Kyle Orton is the man. Now, Kyle may have said too much. He basically said, wow, I am glad the fans are not allowed to vote in the number 1 quarterback. Does that sound like a hit on the fans? And is that wise to make that kind of crack, Marty?
May not be wise in Denver.
That's cold. All right, okay. You may not be wise, but come on now.
I don't know, Vic, because I haven't seen. I only can guess because what we've heard.
Right.
Today they had people defending it based on, his performance last year.
Right.
Saying that he almost won. One of the guys says, I've never heard anybody quoted as almost winning. So I'm not sure you guys. I like Tim Tebow.
Right.
I don't think that fans, but on the other hand, it's a game of where it's money. It's about putting people in seats.
Yes.
So, and Denver may not be going nowhere with Kyle Orton anyway.
See, you're doing.
You might as well say let him play if he's going to get some extra folks buying hot dogs.
See, you're saying
because.
No, you're saying exactly what everybody's saying. Everybody has come to the point of saying, Kyle Orton is not going to really take you to the promised land. He may take you as a
maybe he can just run the offense, and maybe Tim Tebow is just one of those guys who practices bad.
Okay, you know what?
And maybe in the game he'll be better.
Right now,
there's guys who practice bad.
Right. Okay, Philadelphia.
Allen Iverson, He kept saying, "You're talking about practice,
Right.
practice, practice." That's what you're talking about. Now, practice.
Right. You make a good point. I'm with you on this one to a certain degree. Look, everybody wants to see it, and I think there are a number of conditions that add to revenue and the demand. But I think they're smarter football people, and you can't. It's like going to somebody and saying, "Okay, who do we think should start based on popularity?" You're really supposed to do it based on performance, and practice and preseason are the determining factors. But here's my question: Are we about to get this unbelievable slap in the face by the Colorado populace, which includes the Colorado women, okay, endorsement deals, and of course, Mario knows this so much so. If your players are not running to sit back and tell you how much they want this quarterback, isn't the message clear? It's Kyle Orton.
Well, like I said, maybe he doesn't practice well.
Yeah.
But again, to me, I'm not sure the players should be deciding who the quarterback is either.
No.
So the question is, who's running the team up there?
Right.
Denver's been kind of a floundering franchise.
Right. I know.
So it certainly seems to lack an identity at the moment.
Right.
And we're not sure who Denver is right now.
Right.
So that's part of the issue. And I think that's carried across to their team. And maybe that may be the most determining factor even over this. But I must admit, if you were to ask me, who would I be most excited if the game, say the game's coming on in an hour, okay, and you want to, and they tell you Kyle Orton is starting, or they tell you Tim Tebow is starting. Which one makes you turn on the game?
That's wrong.
I hate to say it like that. It's not even close.
Right.
I'd rather turn on and get excited about Tim Tebow in a losing effort than to see Kyle Orton win.
You know what, Mario? I did this with Reggie Bush. And I said, look, you guys can talk about all the things he cannot do, but we all wait for him to have that special explosion, that moment. You look forward to that. Even like a Deshaun Jackson at Philadelphia. You go like, it's something about those specialist players or somebody who has something that it's their unique niche. You're almost willing to tolerate some of that to get that one play or so that allows you to carry forward. Yes, we're not rushing. No disrespect to Kyle Orton. I mean, he's had to prove and earn his stripes. But everybody is looking for that Tebow-esque quality in the quarterback area. And the problem is that there's such mounting opinion that he can't do the traditional basic quarterback protocol and processes. And I'm saying, how bad is it? I mean, I really want to know
he
how
can't
bad.
Drop back, make his reads, and deliver. I mean, I wonder if that's what they're saying, Vic.
Yeah.
But see, I keep hearing, I need to know. There's a lot of rumor stuff floating around, and there's people hearing of the rumors.
Right.
But it's so much of it and all the same that you know it can't be good.
Right.
At least we know he's not impressing people on the practice field.
No, and that's
one thing that needs to be clear.
Right. I mean, when they're adamant, and I know you, Douglas, was on the show this morning, former Philadelphia, I believe, linebacker. He said, look. He says, somebody asked him, he says, what's the difference? He said, between college and football. He said, it's not even close.
The speed.
Yeah, he says, it's not close. You got these, he says, you get one college player off of a team that may be your shining superstar, and he may be wide receiver, running back, or something else. You have specialists at all these positions, faster, meaner, and they come as if your neck is holding a check. They'll fall in love with him going back with his throw that's long and windy and look at that as a dream the night before because they say they're going to buy him more time. It takes him longer to, pass the ball. So he's saying it's the speed. You can't do what he did. And they know that and they see that. So, look, bottom line is Tebow may be – I don't wish injury on anyone, but I do believe that Tebow – it's going to be based on him playing and starting. It's based on Kyle Orton's failures. I just think he's had an off season to develop himself, and they haven't seen anything that they can brag about on it. They're still bragging about his games last year at the end of the season. I said, all this time, this man is a workout mongrel. There's nothing to talk about his technique or anything. No one's saying anything. They're just saying, I think.
If it wasn't such a dysfunctional franchise, that's the part that makes me wonder about them.
I agree. You hit the nail on that one, hand in hand. Hey, look, you guys, I would love to cover Do You Believe. We are killing on time here. We're going to leave it for tomorrow. Going to go on out, but this is going to be interesting to follow what Tim Tebow does. I do want to see him in specialist positions. I hope he can come in and add something. I think there's a place for him, but you know the rule in football: you try to share 2 quarterbacks in a session or in a game. It adds to the lack of confidence that your starting quarterback can deliver. So hey, we're out of this on my new sports, dude. I hope the best for Tebow.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's New Sports. Today's new and sexy sports entertainment. Produced, written, directed by Victor Allen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what? It's this one.